All right, guys. So today the topic we have today, the topic we have today is your role in a relationship as a
You
man,
say physical role as a very man.
physical and spiritual role.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you think? Both female side will talk to us, male side will tell our view. What do you think? Starting from you, your role in relationship as a man, what is it supposed to be spiritually?
And physical.
How do you stand? Yeah, spiritually. So can you tell us, Kenny, and you talk to people on the live stream?
Your spiritual role.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I will start with physical role.
Mm.
So am I speaking for the man?
Yeah, speaking for the man.
For everyone, like everyone's role.
For men in general.
For a man, I think your role is quite simple.
Okay.
And well, obviously, I think traditionally, one thing that we understand for a man that you are meant to be the leader of your home. You are meant to lead the relationship. So if you're looking traditionally, that already puts us in a particular position of leadership, moving your relationship forward. So when you are bringing someone into that relationship, it should also be with the goal of looking to push the relationship forward, because you can't just bring anyone into a relationship with you and not exactly have a direction. The lady is coming to join you in that relationship. She's not the one that is asking you to join her. You're the one who looked for her. You are bringing her into the relationship, whether it's marriage, it's just proper courtship. There should be a direction. So it already puts you in that role of leadership. So I think physically you already have that role of leadership, and I think likewise with spiritually. I don't know. I think everybody would have different thoughts on what someone's role is spiritually in the relationship, because sometimes the woman is more spiritual than the man. Sometimes the man is more spiritual. I know it's a general thought. Some people say the man should also be the spiritual leader in the house. I don't know if I hold the same sentiment. I feel like sometimes the woman is more spiritual than the man. If she's more spiritual, then yeah, why not? She could take the lead spiritually. And it's just obviously, if it's a relationship, both of you should still be equally yoked, like they say, so that even if she is more spiritual, you can still at least try to mash up with her and move along. So that I would say is what I think.
Okay, so my name is Anthony. You can call me Tonero as usual. So
speak a bit louder, sir.
So my name is Anthony. He didn't introduce us very well, but let's say my name is Anthony. That's my name. Friends call me Tonero. Anyway, so when it comes to, like our friend just said, physical role for a man, I would say one, by growing in an African home, a man is always seen physically as the head of the family. That's one.
Sorry, I'm just starting the live stream now.
She wasn't live
It was live on this phone. I tried to change phone.
Physically,
what's the name of this stream again?
Just go to, you have TikTok?
No, YouTube.
YouTube, Sally Henry Clinic.
Sally Henry Clinic.
Yeah.
So everything we're just talking about, no come out now. We don't see them for life.
We are starting again.
So we'll find out for life. It don't disappear.
That's TikTok going on, so yeah. And we have people connecting and living. So, but we need to keep them
engaged.
That's why we need to talk about the topic.
That is a engage.
1 second, I want to see if our voice is. That's fine. Alright. Absolutely fine. Speaking to.
Alright, so I was saying earlier before, physical role in a man, the physical part of what's the topic again?
Alright, so
physical something.
So we were talking about. This is the topic. What's the role of a man?
What's the physical role of a man?
Physical and spiritual role of a man and a woman.
Okay.
Yes.
You can start. You can start again before you.
No. You can go on.
That's fine.
So back to the topic here. Physical role for a man in a marriage or in a relationship, for me, is first, the man is seen as the head. That's the physical part of it, and also he's seen as the provider. He's seen as someone who can be there to like let me use the word. They say women, someone is trying to, let's say, fight your wife or fight your girlfriend. You are there to, shield her from being.
So like a protector.
Yeah, like, hey, thank you very much, my sister. The man is seen as a protector. So he's the provider, he's the head, he's also seen as a protector in the family, in the relationship. This is the physical part of it. Now, in the spiritual sense of it, now, for a man, I'm a Christian, yes. I believe in God, yes. By growing up as a child and everything in a family whereby we're growing up from a Christian home, we're taught the man is, how do you say it, is the spiritual head in the family. But technically, for me, I don't believe that they say as a Christian, they see you as a spiritual head in the family.
I don't believe that. Why?
No, for me, I don't believe a man should, or I don't believe everyone should see it as a spiritual. What if the man is not even a Christian? But if you come from a Christian family, by that default already, you're seen as a spiritual head. That's how it is for me. That's my understanding about spiritually being spiritual as a man in a family.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, in my own take again, I would say being spiritual is more like the man is bringing what we call your. Let me use the religion part of it. You're bringing like a soulmate in your family, for your wife, for your girlfriend. You guys can, do when it comes to things that has to do with God. You guys are doing it together. You're leading in those things. Not just the woman is the one doing it. You're actually the one doing it. And the topic we're talking about is spiritual, man's being spiritual in the family. For me,
both parties, we're trying to understand each other's role. Like we're trying to define a woman's role and a man's role, physical and spiritual. Alright?
I just said man's role is just being physical, is provider, and the rest of them. I just said it. For spiritual part of it, I don't think there should be like a separate role for a man spiritually in a relationship or in a family. I don't think there should be a separate role. I just feel like it should be equal. That's how I see it. If the man is giving 100% when it comes to things that has to do with God, the woman should be giving 100% when it comes to things that has to do with God. If the woman is fasting and praying, the man should also be able to fast and pray. That's how I see it. I rest my case.
All right, I have a couple of questions for you based on what you said. First question for everybody before we have my wife here, your wife, and me also have something to say. But I have a question for you and Kenny, who also said something before. So in your own question, what is a man a provider or a leader? What was the assignment God gave Adam in the Garden of Eden? What was the assignment?
I can't remember the assignment God gave Adam. But your question is a man actually a provider or a leader? A man is both. You can be a provider, you can also be a leader. The two of them, you can actually do the two.
On a nutshell, one word. What is the role of a man?
I just told you the role
of a man. Is it a provider, a leader?
So
I just told you.
If I would think about it, what's the difference between being a provider and a leader?
Exactly.
Because anybody can provide.
No, not anybody can provide.
Anybody can provide.
There's still gonna be a difference. What do you mean by provider and
a leader?
All right. A provider can be anybody that provides you. What is somebody providing? Providing, for example, in a general word, saying providing for anything, it means anybody that have ability to provide for your need. Right?
Yeah.
But a leader sometimes don't have ability to provide for your need, but have ability to lead you the right way.
I think a leader will always bring provision.
No.
So
no, for example,
okay.
If I don't know if the example I want to give is right, but I just thought about in a case of in a church now, the pastor in the church is the leader of that commission,
Mhm.
but then he doesn't have to provide for me. But he's the leader of the
Okay.
commission.
One thing, if I'm correct here, is the fact that I think when we are speaking provision now, the only thing we are looking at is financial provision.
Needs. You were looking
Because
about needs.
if I'm going to think of
Exactly.
provision,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not thinking only financially.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, you can provide financially, but there are a lot of things to provide. The man provides security.
Exactly.
Like you can provide security.
A woman can provide security also.
Security.
What do you mean by security?
Now you have physical security, you have financial security, you have security in several different senses.
Okay.
Right. So provision is, that's why I say, what do we define as provision? Are we talking just like financially provision, or
We
are we
have 4
speaking?
people watching us on
So-
TikTok. 6 people right now watching us on TikTok.
So,
So
if I'm using
we need to explain to
if
them.
I'm using the internet definition,
Mhm.
I was trying to check the difference between being a leader and provider.
Mm-hmm.
A leader influences people by providing vision, direction, and inspiration to achieve common goals, while a provider focuses on delivering goods, services, or financial support to meet needs. Leadership is about vision and influence, whereas providing is about meeting tangible necessities. Though effective leaders often integrate both roles, effective leaders, and providing without leadership can lead to instability.
Effective leaders,
So-
not effective
So with
providers.
what you just read now,
Mhm.
it just clearly states that providing without leadership can lead to instability.
Thank
so
you.
which means providing with can-
Leadership and go ahead.
which means like leadership is very important.
Very important. Yeah.
You know,
But he's still
providing-
trying to say like some leaders are not providers and some providers are like, for it to be effective, both of them
has to work hand in
Hand in
hand.
hand.
Yeah.
I was about to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's
now- That's the question. I don't want us to, because everybody have to give their own piece of cake. Babe,
about what?
About what?
no. They all just say their point of view
On what?
on what is spiritual,
Okay.
what is. You want to run her
I
through?
think we should first define, like we should go ahead and define what we think the role of the man is, the role of the woman is, spiritually, physically. Then we cannot go into
The
Alright,
other details.
So, do you want? Can you define for us
Define what?
what's a role of a woman? And a
Physically.
woman? Physically and spiritually.
spiritually.
These two goes together in a marriage. After that, Precious,
You
you.
want to hear my own idea.
Alright, just go ahead, please.
So, in a general sense now, right, the role of a woman physically is to nurture, is to support, right, and to nurture and support. So, supports the husband, because like the Bible also says like the man is the head, and the woman obviously the neck. So but what I'm saying is that, and also to nurture, you nurture your husband, you nurture your offspring. That's what like society has told women, but women are more, both spiritually and physically. That's my opinion.
And what's the role of a man?
They didn't speak about the role of a woman, they only spoke about the role of a man, right? How am I speaking about the role of a
She's
woman?
speaking about just
No,
woman.
we rephrase the
No, she
question.
did the
No.
woman part. We are doing the man part.
They
now.
did the man part, right?
Okay.
When
They are only
it
just
comes
to
to-
object. If we say something they
Right.
don't feel that is not right in what we are saying, then they can actually say something.
Is it a debate?
No, it's not like
It's
it's
not-
just a kind of
It's a point
conversation.
of view.
No, I feel like
then you
everyone
can
should
you
define
can yeah
for
you
both.
can
For
define
both, but that's
what
what
you
I'm
think
saying.
for both.
Well,
Yeah,
they
I
did
think-
for only men, so I'm not going to touch
No,
on
we
it.
rephrase the thing.
So that
Look,
means you're the one wrong. You should have asked them to define for both before you
Kenny-
jumped over to
Kenny
now.
just said it's better we define the two rules. And
Then-
then I say,
then we
instead of
start
starting from them that have spoken,
Mm.
let's start from here.
No, what you would have done is, since they've already talked
Spoken
about
about men,
men,
let them
you would
talk
have just
about
told them
women.
talk about
Alright,
women.
talk about
before you
women.
Jump into us.
But Kenny,
Instead they just capture you boom. He don't leave us.
That's the
He
role of a
don't leave
woman.
us. The guy don't do for sharp sharp.
Role of a woman.
So personally, if I would speak on the role of a woman,
Physical
I
first.
think physical role of a woman,
Mm.
like Sally had already said earlier, it's still like there is the nurturing in it.
Mm.
So a woman plays the role of nurturing, but when we speak nurturing, most of the times, I feel most of the times people are talking about nurturing the children. I don't know if it's about nurturing the relationship, because we are speaking about the role of the woman in the relationship, right? So when I spoke about role of a man in the relationship, I talked about the fact that the man is there to provide leadership for that relationship, to push that relationship forward, because obviously you are bringing someone into this relationship with you. There should be a particular goal for this relationship, right? So since you are inviting her into your life to actually start something, it means you are looking to also lead that thing forward with direction. So that's why I say it's role for leadership. The same thing for a woman. If we say nurturing, I don't know, I think both the man and the woman nurture the relationship. But the role of the woman, I think traditionally we've learned to understand that it's to support the man. Now, I feel like both people are supposed to support each other. In all sense of it, I think the role of a woman is to provide companionship for the man, or in the relationship. I don't know, I think a woman would better understand that than me, right? So thinking about it, I think a woman would better understand what our role is in the relationship. I think if I'm able to gather my thoughts, I'll be able to like really speak.
Yeah, like my friend just said, he's kind of correct as well. In terms of the physical part of when it comes to physical role in a woman, it has to do with the nurturing part, which he just said. Nurturing, first of all, the real sense of having a woman is bringing out someone to this earth, like having a baby. They are the ones who are doing that. That's like one of their physical role they have to give birth and all that, bring someone to life. And another one again is they are home builders. What do I mean by home builders? A woman sets the tone in the house. You go to a man's house or someone who's having a relationship or who is married, you go to their home, you see that you could tell this is a woman is in this house. Because if you just the only man, there's a house we can go to where guys now will go, we'll be like, only this guy they live. That kind of it will be like, we can tell it's just only a guy living there. But there's a house you go to, a young guy living on his own with a girl, you could tell, there's a girl in this house. Because first of all, you could see the way,
like a woman turns the house to a home.
Yeah, it makes it home. You could see they set the tone. They do a lot of.
So I think I know her. Thank you so much for the gift.
So you could see there's this tone set already. That's why the physical part of woman being in this earth is.
Yes, I know her.
There are also the way they bring wisdom as well. They say behind every successful man, there's a woman inside it, right?
Yeah.
Women are also wisdom bearers. There's a way they do it. They know how to nurture and try to, even as a man, when you think and calculate, you just sit with a woman, she will just say one or two, it will just make sense. It doesn't make sense when your fellow man was telling the thing. But when the woman just says it like this, you start making a lot of sense. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean, to start making sense. So back to the spiritual part of it. This is where I'm trying to, because I remember I spoke the spiritual part of it when it comes to a man. By nature, as a Christian, a man is the leader. He's the man in charge when it comes to anything that has to do with either his food, spiritual, anything. Is the man.
Thank you.
So for a woman, that part I don't know how to say, but I will just say it's the same as a man. A woman, when it comes to spiritual role, is even for me. I feel like for a woman to be more in spiritual, when it comes to spiritual things, for me, I feel like when a woman is even inside it more, it's better than when a man is more, because see my own thought on it.
Okay, tell us.
A woman, the way a woman will pray,
tell us your thoughts on
the way a woman will pray,
know.
and the way a woman will take their time and pray, cry, and do all those. Women can, the way a woman will pray and a man will pray. Believe me, God will answer woman first before the man. I just have that feeling.
I don't think so.
I just have that look. I know
think so.
it might not be true, but logically, I just feel like women, they are so designed by God that there is this feeling or this logic I have in me that I believe if a man and a woman is praying for the same thing, I feel like a woman will do it better in getting to God faster than a man. A man will still be playing around and trying to do like this before he gets to God. But a woman will be more direct in what she's trying
So
to
in
do.
a nutshell,
In a
a woman
nutshell.
has the mumu button.
You know what?
God, like the way he has the man.
Yeah.
All right, now we know.
Do you actually
Okay.
understand?
The woman
Do you
has
Okay.
God to that.
All right.
I want to say something to that.
This
Do you
man-
understand
Okay.
that- do you understand that God is not man?
I know, but
Exactly. You
Do you
get.
understand that
Like,
God is
yes.
not going by our words, he's going by our
We're
hands.
going to look at
It
scriptural
might be-
aspect of this.
No, that was
We're going to look at scriptural aspect of this. You know,
Mm.
when talking about the role of a man,
Mm,
we talk about the role of a man from God's original plan.
mm,
God made man. An analysis.
mm,
God made man
mhm,
without a woman first.
mm,
Put him in the garden
mhm,
to be the leader of the garden.
mhm,
Lead animal,
mm,
lead plants, lead
everything,
fishes, lead everything.
yeah. Mm.
And God say, it's not good for this man to be alone. This man, this guy go die.
Conjugal killer.
Okay. He said, you know what? Let's get him a helpmate.
Yeah, man.
Not that he will run the animals down, right? Not that he will run the business down.
no.
Now continue be the really problem.
Yeah.
Okay, we see.
I guess that you're the. You don't go fast.
Someone must calm down.
It's like it's-
Now, let's know it. Now, what
Don't check
happened?
before
What,
they enter camera. No, maybe
now, what happened is when God look at that situation, it pleased God to say, you know what? For them to have a dominion,
Mm,
for them to achieve this goal,
mm,
let this woman help.
mm,
Right? Let me
mm,
help this man.
mm,
He said, okay, you know what? This man, you are in charge of this place spiritually. Listen, God gave Adam instruction, spiritual instruction.
What was the spiritual instruction?
I'm coming. Spiritual instruction. You own this garden.
mm,
You own everything here.
mm,
You see this thing
mm,
every day. Avoid that.
mm.
But that's not a spiritual instruction.
That's a spiritual instruction.
It isn't.
Well, let him
Just-
finish.
just
Let
one
him
second.
let him land with his.
Just one
he hasn't
second.
land with the point here.
So that instruction now goes by, in case if you have a thought,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the spiritual aspects enter.
Mm-hmm.
In case God knows why he told this man this, because he knows there is another being that will come and tell him to do otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, protect this with all your interests.
Mm-hmm.
That means you own this garden. The law is done, eat this thing. Whatsoever that will make you to eat this thing, avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
And they speak for pidgin now, man.
Mhm.
So he said, avoid whatsoever that will make you to eat this fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And the man he say, that means we agree.
Mm.
In this case, this guy go out, hunt, do everything. One day God decided to say, this guy will run dry. Like he needs something to keep him going. He needs to be changing oil.
Mm.
and God gave him Eve to be changing oil.
Mm.
And
So can I interject? So
Okay.
what then is the purpose of if she's only there to change her?
Like,
no, 1 second, that's why I'm coming.
All right.
Now,
Is there like?
like the purpose was to come and just say,
now,
okay.
do you get the spiritual aspect of a man? God gave you the leadership to lead the kingdom. That's where I'm coming from. Lead the kingdom of Garden of Eden.
Mhm.
Protect it with all your interests.
Mm.
Give every instruction. Whatever you call name shall be the name. Whatever you say, go here, go here. Call goat, goat, answer goat. Call lion, lion, answer lion. Call this one. You know that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually, he protected it. Physically, he protected it. He was leading them.
Mhm.
And God brought a helpmate. Not just to change oil. But main purpose for the helpmate is to keep this man comfort while he listening to me. So this man gets instruction from me, and you, both of you work. Whatever I tell him, he will tell you, and both of you work together. That's the reason why Adam looked at Eve and say, God have given us all this. Same as he have given to me. We have it.
Mm.
But you see the problem. See this fruit, no chop and more. Because that's the problem.
Now I'm still struggling to understand. I've been waiting for you to land with this road. Now, from what I'm understanding from what you just said, it's like Eve just came and messed the man's life
And
up.
become a problem for
No,
you.
Yes.
he didn't become, no.
But so
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's
That's
what
the
you're
point.
driving
I've
That's the
not
point. Because
I've
I've been
not
trying to
land-
wait for you to
No,
land. You
I've
haven't
not
landed.
landed.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
hitting
please
I'm
land.
hitting a point where a man have his like
The physical
purpose
part
of
of
it,
the
this
is it spiritual part?
Yes, spiritual part and physical part
Okay.
of a role of a man in marriage.
Mhm.
I'm still talking about a man. I'm
Mhm.
coming to Eve.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a leader.
Mhm.
All right. You are to guide, protect,
Mhm.
make sure everything is going well,
Mhm.
and at the same time provide. By provide is the least of it.
Which we already agreed on. Everyone agreed on that. Yes.
You understand?
Mhm.
And then, what is the job of a woman? All this I've given to this man, that wisdom I've given to him,
Mhm.
you are to help him to protect it.
Mhm.
So it's like God owed the man, the woman owed the woman.
Mhm.
No, the woman owned the man.
Mhm.
So God is the ownership of the man. At the same time, the woman is ownership of the man. That's why a woman can also say to God, see this man you've given to me, this and this and this, and something will happen based on that instruction.
Mhm.
And the same thing. So a woman come into the man's life to also do what? Help him to expand, help him to lead properly, help him to provide, help him to protect. If listening to Adam and protect that interest, there will be no if eat any fruit. But because Adam protected it, if use God, that's what happened. So you have a woman who help as a helpmate, help you in everything. All right. That does not mean she's there to answer you, boy. But when we talk about helpmate means God have given you the kingdom. You have a queen to rule with the kingdom. She's not your mate, she's not your servant, but she's to support you, help you with your decisions.
But how Eve takes support Adam for this thing? Because now,
Garden of Eden.
Yeah, how she take support Adam? With that one man, no matter, I want to know how Eve takes support Adam for the garden, because the first thing we tell us now, he says talking about the fruits.
Start talking about
we say talk about the fruit where say God tell us say no chop this. We say this fruit, no touch am, right? Then
why did I explain that?
Now I don't understand. You say God, we already know the part that Adam came to the earth, right? God gave him a lot of things to guide and protect and all that, right? We get that.
That's
now
the spiritual aspect of a man. God gave you a family to protect.
Okay.
God gave you a family to lead.
Okay.
That's
now the spiritual part of a woman now say, if come, Adam God call it Adam say, see this fruit, don't eat it. But if come go chop Adam waiting be serpent now made her eat the fruit. Then she ate the fruit. Then Adam come and John and eat the fruit. Now waiting for the spiritual part of because now I mean you get my point. Because the story where you going with the story, I get the part the man physical part saying they do this and that and that. Now the spiritual part you can't ask say God and say see this fruit. The story now not going to make sense because if God and say see this fruit, na spiritual man and go there and say this fruit. Then if God come inside the story again, then if God say say my God say this fruit. Don't confuse me. Don't get
you on it today.
I'm just alright. So bring me back from where we say God tell and say see this fruits. Then if come because if amplify, if amplify, then chop the fruit. So where if going spiritual?
What's the spiritual?
Thing?
No, one thing.
What's the spiritual role of the man?
But if help us
because from everything you explained, I could only understand the
physical part. Exactly. That's how
of both the man and
the woman.
So the spiritual role of a man, spiritual role of a man is to intercede on behalf of your family. Hear from God. Follow the instruction.
So if say Adam follow the instruction of God, no chop that fruit. Spiritual. Let's imagine say that spiritual thing we talk about. Now, if we be the wife, which is we're talking about the spiritual part of a woman now. Helping a man. You said something about a woman helping a man spiritually with their wisdom and everything and all that. Say God, say this man. Say the same way a woman will say, say this man where you give me, makes sense and all that. I won't understand that. How the spiritual part enter will be say God already tell us say spiritually if you chop this fruit, if no, the king, he know if you understand. Now make the story make connect for me. So spiritually for the woman partner, is it that as a spiritual woman, God's also supposed to tell and say this fruit don't eat. Maybe now this fruit will put they make the story don't make sense.
Now this is what happened.
I think
now let me help this.
Well, the thing is say if no kuku here directly.
Good. Yes. Thank you. So what happened is
that was not Eve instruction.
So this is what happened.
So if when disobey her husband,
when you have a family,
yes,
all right,
yeah,
God give you instruction what to do. It means when you are weak in your family, you're open for attack. Now listen, as a man, when God gave Adam that instruction. Eve wasn't there.
Yes.
That means instruction of your spiritual leading in your family should be from you to God,
As
and
a
then
man,
you
yeah.
direct your home. And when you direct your home, or when you speak to your wife, you should understand the intensity of that to keep that particular law moving.
I have a question.
Go
Do you think if a man is not spiritual, I have a question. Do you think if a man is not spiritual in a home, the home will not move forward, or the home won't do, or won't be run? Let's say won't run properly. Do you think so?
Now,
if it's just the man,
just if the man is not spiritually sound,
just the man,
yes,
right?
and the woman is spiritually sound, do you think that home won't move?
It will move, but it will not move in a fast pace.
Okay. What will be the challenges of it not moving in a fast pace?
Because, see, in my opinion, is that it looks like there's an antagonist there, because two of them are not like inclined to be moving towards one direction. So it's like one person moving and trying to now pull this one. So imagine two of us holding hands and walking in the same direction, in the same pace, right? We go faster than if I'm the one pulling you. Do you understand? So that's my own
intake on it. No, I get you. I get it.
It becomes slower because at this point it's like I'm working for two, and at some point if you don't pick up, or it tends to be exhausting. So at some point the woman too might relapse. And then when you see that things are going back, and then like, okay, let me push again. Do you understand? So that's where like it takes.
But what if it's only the man that is spiritually sound and the woman is not spiritually?
It's the same thing.
Okay, I just wanted to. I asked that question to see.
Can I answer?
And then again I did the other way.
It's still going to be the same thing. But guess what? I feel like the man, if the man is more spiritual than the woman, it takes a bit faster pace than if the woman is more spiritual. Okay. I'm using the logic of physical strength now. Physical strength as a woman, me trying to pull a man. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It takes me longer time to pull you than a man now. Physically, you have more strength than I do, right? Trying to pull. So that's my own opinion. Like.
So before you answer, right? This is your question. I want to understand. You said like, does it hinder the kind of progress of
the family? Yeah.
Now, in what sense?
Like from the beginning, they said there was the whole point of this conversation was the role of the physical in a man, right? And what's the role spiritually in a man? Then he asked one question. He started saying something about the role of a man, how he's supposed to lead when he's not leading properly, attacks coming and all that. He was saying that's what Henry was saying earlier. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's imagine this is like this Adam and Eve. We didn't know how it ended. I didn't really go too deep to know how and if they would end up being the husband and wife and married and all that. But we're using that like in real life now, husband and wife, right? The husband is not spiritually sound, right? There's an attack in the family, maybe through the wife. Maybe the wife is also spiritual, but she's not spiritually sound as well. In this case, it's like both of them were not spiritually sound. That's what happened in this case, right? Now what happened now? They are two not spiritual people. If Adam been listening, waiting God tell him, right? And if been actually they sound spiritually as well, maybe serpent not for convince and make she chop apple.
No.
It's
not because they were not. Adam was not spiritually sound. What happened is Adam did not take the instruction of God as, when he had to do with him, he did take it very serious and maintain that law until that attempt came. When devil came to Adam, yes, scripture didn't record that, but when you read something like Hebrew Bible, Dake's Bible, you will see that there are a couple of attempts before it goes through.
If the Bible did not record it, then
okay, let's leave theology.
But bro, I still believe that Adam was not spiritually sound.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
If he actually listened to God's instruction, he didn't touch it.
Yeah, Adam was not spiritually sound
because he didn't touch it.
If we're going to be honest,
how can he
put everything on the woman?
Yeah, on the woman. Yes.
We are not putting it on the woman. I'm just trying to tell you the mistake of a man. I'm not even talking about a woman here.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
On that part. Yes, I know the Bible didn't record anything about Adam being
tempted
sound or not.
Mm.
But from what the Bible explains to us, before Eve entered the picture, Adam was in a relationship with God. God would always come to the garden to be with Adam, dine with him, gist and all of that. And then at some point, God said, "This man needs a helpmate, a companion. He can't just be alone."
Yeah.
And then Eve came. Now, even the strongest pastor that is in a very intimate relationship with God is also prone to temptation to fall in.
Okay.
That's why the only perfect person is Jesus Christ. Anybody can fall into temptation.
Okay.
So now, it's not about if Adam was spiritually sound or not. At that moment, he fell.
Was vulnerable.
So yeah, so him falling is not something to now use and decide that, oh, Adam was not spiritually sound or not. No, because even someone that is spiritually sound can fall at any time.
But when that person fall, what happens then?
That's why there is the opportunity to ask
pray
for
for
mercy.
forgiveness.
Yes.
But when you pray for forgiveness, I feel like then you've already spiritually, first of all, you've sinned, right? When you sin, you've come short of the glory of God, right? When someone sins, now you have to go back to do repentance and give your life to Christ again, to God, right? That for me, I feel like when you've broken that first, being spiritual or being a Christian, when you first of all backslided, right? Let's use that's the word, you backslide. You go back again and ask for forgiveness and give your life to Christ again. That's how it is. Back then,
that's not the way it is.
no, that's you pray and ask for forgiveness.
That's your understanding.
No, I'm just giving it. I'm just trying to break it down in such a way that it will be easier for someone. When someone backslide, right? You go and pray and ask God for forgiveness. And as a Christian, in your mind, once you've asked God for forgiveness, you ask God for forgiveness, and you give your back. Once you've given your back, and you ask God for forgiveness, you give back your life to Christ again. You go back again.
Your life has always been with Christ.
Your life has
you did not take
Okay.
it.
Let me just say yes.
You didn't take it from him.
Okay,
It's always been with him.
Let me know you're correct on that. Yes, but back you're now in Christ again, doing things of Christ. Yeah, that's the right word. Yeah. Okay. Now my question again goes back to Henry. Explain again for us. Let's go back again. No, he's right on that. Let's go back again on our conversation again.
What's that face?
Oh, sorry.
No, not you. It's fine.
Okay. My dear, just go ahead, ask me the question.
No. Now you lead us now. Take us.
Now, just my answer before any other person take over. Okay? Just a wee analysis from Adam, and we go to Miriam and Moses and Aaron. A wee analysis from that again. When you have to do with spiritual leadership. I know why I'm focusing on spiritual leadership. Alright? So when you have to do with spiritual leadership, God gave instruction to Adam. Adam gave instruction to Eve. This is what God said. Now Adam went out, coming back, faced the situation of having this woman eating. Of course, he loved the woman and listened to the woman and forget the instruction of original vulnerability. That's what comes in there. Now, does it mean that he said, God, what you're telling me does not make sense, go your way? No, it was just a place. That's what happens when sometimes if you don't guide your heart, things come in there. But if he explained the intensity of this particular instruction, that's why devil didn't come through him. If he built his wife to be in that same frame mindset that he have, like it would have been easy for the wife to maybe say no. It's easy to come and tell you, God said this. You know, when you are praying, you get instruction. You can just say it, and the person you're explaining it to will just take it that frame, depending on the depth. For example, we can be praying now and say, oh, something is just coming. I might just say something is coming into my spirit. And talking to you, you might feel like, this is my situation. But because I say it's coming through your spirit, you might be thinking, did I hear it somewhere or not? But if I say, thus say the Lord, you should do this and do that, it's two different things. You understand?
So what makes you think that Adam did not actually do this with Eve? Because let's not mistake. It's not like God created Eve, boom, and then the next day she ate the apple.
No.
So there must have been a series of time, and we understand that God always came down to them to fellowship with them, which means Eve also knew God herself. It's not like she didn't know him at all, and only Adam used to tell him, that guy God is coming, I'll go and see him, and then I'll come back to you and tell him. No, he always came to see both of them.
The Bible recorded the instruction was given to Adam.
Yes, the Bible recorded the instruction was given to Adam, but Bible did not record everything that Adam did.
That's why
it did not record everything that Eve did.
That's why I withdraw that statement again.
But then you now said it's not written in the Bible and he has to withdraw it.
I withdraw
it. But it is true because
that's what I'm saying now. When he said if you're reading like the Hebrew and Greek,
see my point here. You have the Torah, right? Which were the 5 books written by Moses. The Torah was the one that gave the whole account. So if you are bringing some other book that is Hebrew, whether they wrote it in Greek, they wrote it in Italian, it doesn't matter. If it's not in the Torah that Moses actually collected or got from God, then it's not. It's
do you know the Torah?
Because obviously, if you talk about Enoch, for example, the book of Enoch and all those other books, those books could be included in between what happened during those periods because Enoch was in the Torah, right?
Yeah,
but it's not part of the Bible.
Yeah, but the Torah itself is not exactly how the Bible you use now is. Torah give more account, more details in depth. If you pay attention to that, if you use Hebrew words, if you go to theology school, you understand what I'm talking about.
And one thing I do is this: you can go online. There are versions of where you can actually read the original, the way it was written, with the English translation side by side. It's the same thing. The only thing in English is just variations. They're just variations.
Have you attended Catholic church before?
I think maybe one time.
You used to be our member, right? You know Catholic church have some Bibles that are not included in Bible you used to do.
Yes, and that is what I'm telling you. If it's not now, when the early I won't say the early fathers, but when you add like the I think it was Luther. That's why you have the Lutheran, and that's why you have Protestants. Why do we have different what they call them?
Protestants start from this country where we are.
It's not about where it started or how it started. You had people who did not agree. That was the reason why you had Protestants. The reason we are Protestants we are debating. Yes. The reason we are debating is because now we are calling other books.
All right, let me finish my explanation.
You
don't allow me to finish my explanation, and then you can start asking questions. So my explanation.
No, I did ask that question because I wanted. Yeah, it was mine. I wanted to understand why you feel like Adam did not thoroughly tell Eve, because obviously this event did not happen the next day after Eve was created, which means that Eve also knew God.
Yeah.
Which means that there is the likelihood, because she knew, because when the serpent came to Eve, the serpent did ask her, did God say you should not this? And she said yes. If God said if we eat of this, we will surely die.
Why did
Now, the only thing was just the way the devil tempted her. So I'm not going to say that Adam did not tell it to her. She knew, because you can see the conversation there.
Yeah.
And she was saying what she knew. So she understood the fact that if we eat of this thing, we will die.
All right. Thank you for that correction. But however, I want to know why the devil didn't attempt Eve instead.
Why the devil not attempt Adam? I don't know. I'm not the devil. I don't know. I don't know his mind.
That means a woman can be spiritual in the home. A woman can be strong in the home. But that woman is prone to attack if there is no covenant.
But if you read the book of Proverbs, and when the book talks about the role of a woman, it talks about the fact that a woman builds her home. That's where you can actually see the role of a woman in the home. A woman builds her home. She sets some early.
Especially when married 700 women, they talk about that.
It does not matter. It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible now.
It's in the Bible.
I'm just trying to tell you my experience gathered.
Yes.
I was talking about.
No,
yes.
Yes, it's experience gathered, but he's still known as the wisest man. God gave him the wisdom, right? So he's the wisest man. He talked about the role of the woman in the house, and he talked about the fact that the woman builds the home. It didn't even, like, I think when they talk about the role of man, they don't even exalt it as much as they will exalt the woman's role. Yeah. So if you say if the woman is even spiritually sound, I don't believe that the woman could be the weak link in the house. It could also be the man. It just happened that with the case of Adam and Eve, it just happened that it happened through Eve. The reason, if you're going to ask me why didn't the serpent come to Adam, was because, like you said, Adam got the revelation directly from God.
Yes.
Now, thank
Now,
you. We
no,
don't
no,
need
no,
to
no,
start-
no.
Can
The
we-
point
can I
you were
just
making, the
mention
point
something?
you were making was that Adam did not thoroughly tell it to Eve.
Okay.
It's two different things.
Okay, I'll
If-
withdraw that.
That was what I was saying earlier before that.
If he was to tell I don't know how to put it, for example, if he's to tell her something that I told him, I told it to him, I told him to do something, or maybe I told him to do something, okay, you and your wife help me do this, and he's to tell it to her, she would still take it as seriously as the person that, or the original receiver.
message, yeah.
But obviously, just like you said, when the man took it, it was because there was also a lapse. Not because that obviously we can look at it in our own sense, because he loved the woman and he ate it. They didn't even talk about the fact that he loved the woman. The woman just gave it to him and he took it. That was it.
Right. Sometimes explaining too much might make somebody go out of context, like me. At the same time, what we're looking at is key points. What's the key point? Adam was the vision bearer. Adam was the spiritual man in the house. The reason why Adam can maybe be talking to devil and negotiating as a salesman, because he got that instruction, and will be thinking about, this man have given me this God have given me all this place, and he just told me this. Why not I just?
Is it that because Adam came first to the earth, that's why?
Yeah,
by
exactly.
default,
So
he's-
it means
so
if,
that means
if the
if
woman
Eve
was
came
created first,
first,
Eve came first.
If
it
he
means
came
that
first, that means
it would have been
it
easier
have
for
been
Adam
easier to say
because
to-
Eve would have
I don't know if you guys have.
No, that's the way I
If
see
you
it.
get the
No, what do you
context
guys
of
think?
Adam, if you get the
Sorry,
context of
what do you think what I
Adam,
just said now?
context of Adam is
Let
like,
me even check this thing.
it's like context of Christ.
Mhm.
All right, it was to, rebuild the earth. If you remember where this thing started from, is when the fallen angels.
Mhm.
That's where the whole thing started from. Before Adam, there was the fallen angels.
Mhm.
Though Revelation recorded it, but all these things happened before the creation.
Mhm.
Do you understand? And God is trying to rebuild something. He tried to bring Christ in form of Adam. And he said, take care of the earth.
That is wrong.
Okay.
That is wrong because Christ was not the vision of Christ did not come before Adam sinned. It came after Adam sinned. So it's not like Adam was like.
I just checked something. Sorry, I just checked something and I said, is it a must? A man must be the head of the family. And they said no. It's not a must for a man to be the head of the family. Yeah, this is a concept with very perspective, right? With some religious interpretation assigning the role to the husband, while others emphasize equality, partnership, and joint decision making.
Yeah.
You get my point? No. I'm
This
getting.
one agency.
We are
No.
We are talking about leadership. Or
No. I just did try. See why I was just looking at this. It's just to. The whole point is the physical role of a man and the physical role of a woman.
We actually
And
stuck in this.
no, wait now. And the second part is the spiritual role of a man and the spiritual role of a woman. And we are not stuck in the
Okay,
spiritual role of a man.
I think we should speak about the physical role of a man.
I want to say
I want to
something on
conclude the spiritual. Can you allow me to
I'm
conclude?
actually not said anything here.
Okay, go ahead.
Even started waiting around talk. I never talk anything. I never listen
Because
to
you
it.
people are just going like this.
I'm going off point.
Exactly.
Like, because we
I'm
have
not allow you
something else.
guys to say.
So finish whatever you want to say.
Nah,
And then
the-
when we go back to the topic, we can speak.
All right, you guys should speak.
I actually
You were the
wanted to-
coordinator. So carry us go enter that place.
It's me and
Carry
Kevin.
us to the garden.
To the garden.
And
Where
you
we-
left, you lost us for garden.
He loses us for garden.
When they find the
Now,
fruit,
maize.
chop the fruit.
Now, they for maize.
Who
When I
chop
found
the
our
fruit?
way out.
Who not chop the fruit?
We
They
left
find
them. We
out.
left them to just.
Let them find their way
And
out.
that's figure out what's in the devil with it.
No, the thing is, I
We never enter the maze with them.
Do you know that
You said
they now
I
went
was
to- they now
funny
went to
videos.
they now went to now create stories of what happened in
Nice.
Garden of Eden. In my head, that's what I imagine. Wait, did this happen in Garden of Eden or no? That was happening.
All right.
But
So say something.
What is somebody say?
I
What do you want me to
wanted-
say? Wait, what do you want me to say?
On the topic.
Which topic? Which particular one should we talk
We're
about?
still
Because
talking-
now we'll talk about it. Which one we should talk about?
We're still talking about
Is
spiritual
it spiritual?
and
You said I should
physical
say
rule of
something.
No, which one are
man
we talking now? Spiritual now or
and
physical?
physical rule. Anybody can bring the two together.
Okay.
After this, we enter another thing. So
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to talk about the spiritual aspect, right?
Spiritual woman. Ginger. Let's go right on.
See,
Mm.
1 Peter 3 verse 7.
I talk ham. Let's follow and read it back. Let's open it also. We have our Bible. Pray that church.
Open.
My Bible there now.
Oh,
Look at my
because
Bible.
Let's go.
You'll be
Let's
sent
go.
away from here.
Let's go. First Peter 3:7. Yeah.
First Peter.
We're about to
let's
start
go.
service. First service is about to start.
1 Peter 3 verse 7 says, likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered.
what do you have to say?
Right on, Pastor.
What's the
So,
point? What's the
Our
point?
point now say
Preach, preacher.
First Peter 3.
Verse 7.
Just verse 7. Now
Yes,
it give us.
yes.
Okay. Man, find that verse 7. Read that verse 7.
Do you want me to read it out?
No.
No.
In the same way, your husband live with your wives in an understanding way, with great gentleness and tact, and with an intelligent regard for marriage and relationship. You don't finish you. They can't say, as someone with physical weaker, since she no. As someone with physical weaker, that's what they said. Since she is a woman, show her honor and respect as a fellow heir of the grace of God, so that your prayers will not be hindered or ineffective. So what is that done and say,
So
woman,
that
they
your
weak.
prayers will not.
So that I want to tell you to read that.
No. I say me as a man, I gotta pray for the woman. The woman,
Like
is-
it's more like you actually need to take up that role.
Mm.
It's not that the woman will
That's why
not
they don't want
pray.
to. They don't want me to land in my
Wait,
interpretation.
I think you're not bad way
Do
talk.
you-
Say, me woman,
Do
they
you know?
very strong.
Do you know?
woman.
Do you know
Show
why?
me.
Do you know why the
Show
woman
me.
is called the
I will
weaker
find
vessel?
you. No worry.
The weaker vessel is not in terms of spirit. It's in terms of physical.
Physical,
and that's why
flesh.
they call it the vessel.
Provider.
The vessel is the flesh. I remember I've done Bible study on this. The vessel is the flesh, not the spirit. And that is why it says you are equal heirs.
Mm-hmm.
You are equal in the spirit. A man
Then
and
you
a
say,
woman are
so
not.
that your
spirit.
prayers may not
But-
be hindered. You know, I'm trying to come to that part of like spiritual lead. Like it didn't say so that her prayers will not. If there is one thing I've understood about Bible is that like a particular word in the Bible is trying to say something. It didn't say so that her prayers will not be hindered.
Yes, and I will explain
It
that
said
as
so
well.
that it said so that your prayers will not be hindered. And
Open that scripture
this
for me
part,
again.
If you
First Peter
First Peter
Which one?
3:7.
3 verse 7, and this part, it if you read the full this thing, it's talking about the man's leadership in a home, and the man being the head of the home. So if it's written here like so that the man's prayers will not be hindered, that means the man, it's not that the woman should not pray, but the man needs to take up that role as the head of the home.
Please,
Can I just tell you what
Please,
I
one
also
second.
got from there?
let me read something. Let me
Before
read the
before you
scripture
read,
for you
before
guys.
you read, sorry.
Okay.
Can I also say what I got from what
Yeah.
she just read?
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, stop smiling. What I got from there, because nobody wants to touch it, but me, I will touch it. Did you hear the part when he said, honor your wife?
Yes.
When he said, be tender to her, like you literally have to be kind to your wife. Have you seen those men that are not kind to their
This
wives?
is the reason. This is the reason why I said that is why they were called the weaker vessel, not in the spirit, but in the physical.
Can we
The
read that
reason they're
scripture from
asking
Let
you
me-
to be
let me-
tender
I'm
and
coming
be
to
gentle
why
is
their prayers
because-
will not be answered, though. That's what I'm.
I think we might be of the same
Same
mind.
That's what I'm
yeah.
coming
of-
to.
Yeah.
Honor your wife.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in like that word is deep. It's like we don't want to talk about it, but that word is deep. Honor your wife. Be kind to your wife. There are times we say things that are demeaning to our partners,
So if you as a man do not honor your wife, do not respect your wife, do not treat her with loving kindness, go and pray. Your prayer will not be answered, or your prayer will be hindered somehow. That's what that Bible is saying. That's what that part is saying.
Please, can we read this Bible?
So if
Before-
we,
can we-
before
No,
one-
see the
one
problem.
thing, one thing I love about
My wife
Bible-
jumped to verse 7. She don't start from verse 1.
That's what I was going to say. One
Can
thing I
we-
love about the Bible
So
is
can
that
we
the
read-
Bible always works with context.
So
Yes.
can we
If
read
you go
from
read
verse
just
1?
one verse,
Can
Let
we
me-
start from verse
start
1?
from-
Let me start from verse 1.
Can you use Amplify version?
I won't use something else.
Then
Why is
let's
that?
use KJV.
Yeah? I won't use
actually,
ESV.
KJV they had.
I won't use ESV. English Standard Version.
Nah.
Okay, mine is Amplify. No, mine is Amplify.
Godly living.
In the
is the beginning.
same way, you wife, be submissive to your husband, to your own husband anyway.
Your
Not-
own
your
husband.
Your own
not
husband.
another
Yes,
person's
that's
Yeah.
what it puts it. Your own husband.
Not under
Not
the
The
person's
same
husband.
subordinate, not as inferior, but out of respect for the responsibilities.
Now, before you, not as inferiors, and this is the reason why I said when they say weaker, because they said it here, not as inferiors, but later they talk about the fact that she's the weaker vessel.
The weaker vessel in spirit.
Yeah, no, I was gonna get to my point that the reason why they said why he said all those things is because the woman is most of the times
People can
when
be
people
speaking at the
see
same time.
when people see the woman as the weaker, it's easy for a man to mishandle a woman. Let's be honest, because physically you are more capable than she
Than
is.
the woman.
Now,
yeah.
if a woman in that particular sorrow should cry to God, your prayers will not be answered, you as the man, because you are not doing her justice. You are dishonoring that woman because she is a weaker person in the physical. So you are dishonoring her. God is not going to answer your prayer. This is basically what he's saying. That's why if you go back upwards, it helps you understand that she's not inferior to you, but because she is a weaker vessel. And if you look at it, it's saying, okay, just continue. You will get down to that point.
Yes, Pastor. I'm right down. So back to the part again. But out of respect for the responsibilities entrusted to husband and their accountability to God. And so partnering
Please,
with
1
them-
second, one comment.
Yes,
You know I
yes,
picked
yes.
that.
I knew you were going to pick something.
Yes.
You know I picked that, right?
Yes.
Big one.
Yeah, I
It's
picked it
based
too.
on
I
what
picked it too.
Out of what?
Hmm?
Respect.
Out of respect
For
for
the-
the responsibilities.
Let me read. For the responsibilities
Entrusted
entrusted
to
to
your
husband,
husband.
and the accountability to who?
God.
That means
Spiritual part, yeah.
what happened?
Yes, spiritual.
He's accountable.
Yeah,
to God.
accountable to God.
This is the reason. This is the reason when Tony asked.
Yeah.
I think there was a question Tony asked earlier that if
If-
I think
if spiritual,
if I
if-
can remember
yeah.
the question well, no, if the I don't know if you asked that question.
if
If only if ate that of that apple
Mm.
and Adam did not eat of the apple,
Mm.
what then would happen?
What then would happen?
Mhm.
Decide on God. Bible say don't add up on my nose. So I dey take careful. That's why that scripture. When you want me immediately, I pay attention. I remember myself.
So should I continue?
Yes, yes, boss.
Okay. And so
You be bishop.
and so partnering with them, so that even if some do not obey the words of God, they may be won over to Christ without discussion by the godly lives of their wives. Ephesians 5:22. When they see your modest and respectful behavior, together with your devotion and appreciation, love your husband, my wife. Encourage him and enjoy
His wife,
him
the hear
and
enjoy him.
as a blessing
Enjoy him.
from God.
Speak to me. Don't go to
Chineke.
corner.
This one I enter.
Even then, now why I say my wife now because
Speak directly.
because even Bible
Don't go
see
to corner.
your
Your-
own husband,
your
so they speak
adornment
to his own wife.
must not be merely external,
Yeah.
with interwavering and elaborate knotting of the hair, baby. Hear am? And wearing gold jewelries. Baby, girl, buy me gold jewelry.
No, now you go buy a gold jewelry.
Now you
She
go
used
buy-
to wear gold jewelry.
No, they say no. It should not, they say it should not be
Yeah.
only. I mean, we will not twist them. It should not
Bro.
be only in the external with the adorning of the hair and wearing
Wear
gold.
and earrings and all
More
those
will
things.
they follow the T straight.
Yeah.
So the husband no even supposed to buy him. Is let
being
before the husband buy him.
Mind yourself.
being superficial, no, being superficially preoccupied with dressing in expensive clothes. Child,
You're not
Shame.
supposed to buy those expensive things.
shame, shame.
No, Shein clothes not
Shein-
expensive.
Shein-
But
Shein
Shein clothes not
expensive.
expensive.
Let
It's
it
not-
be
it's not
the
expensive clothes.
inner beauty of the hidden person of the heart, with the
I go start to buy
imperishable
things for
quality and unfading charm
you.
of
Let's
a
be
gentle
spiritual.
and peaceful spirit. One that where Pastor 2 where you go now? You don't run.
Pastor don't leave us.
Ah, where you go? Don't leave us go. Which
No.
part?
Why you go to
Why
school,
you
the
going
school, the school, the school? You don't want to read the man pattern.
Okay,
You know
I
the
go-
school,
I
the
go-
school,
I
the
go-
school, they
I
go.
go read
And
that
then just
one.
they look your hand as they go
Okay,
like
I'll
this.
come back. Where
You
are
go
we?
go back.
No one
Okay.
skip- no one
You want
skip
skip.
one.
With
No
the
one skip one.
imperishable quality and unfading charm of a gentle and peaceful spirit, one that is clean and self-controlled, not over anxious, but serene and spiritual mature, which is very precious in the sight of God. For in this way is former times the holy woman who hoped in God used to adore themselves, being submissive to their own husband and adapting themselves to them, just as Sarah obeyed Abraham. Sarah, my wife, you obey Abraham, me. Following him and having regard for him as the head of their house, calling him Lord. I mean, what's that way you call me Lord? And you have become her daughter if you do what is right without being frightened by any fear. That is being respectful towards your husband. And hear
Okay.
that part.
Yeah.
Pastor
Which-
don't do that, man.
Okay, and get one part I want it for you. You know the
No worry, move.
but don't pass that.
It's First Peter. Is it not First Peter 3? You're reading? Don't
You
worry.
don't read that.
We don't finish now, so
No, continue.
Continue.
okay. And you have become her daughters if you do what is right without being frightened by any fear. That is being respectful towards your husband, but not giving into intimidation, nor allowing yourself to be led into sin,
Is that
nor be
intimidation
harmed.
or intimidation?
Intimidation.
Intimidation, you know what I mean now, babe. In the same way,
Continue.
you husband, leave your wives.
Leave your wife. They not say leave your wife.
Don't make
I jump up.
Satoni.
I don't jump up.
Satoni. What is happening?
They not say
You
leave
don't
you.
understand.
So you won't leave your wife like this? You dey find solace in the Bible. You dey find solace in the Bible like this.
I just, you know when your sister is just jump up.
Alright, go ahead.
Oh my God. They catch me sharp, sharp. So in the same way, you husband, live with your wives in an understanding way, with great gentleness and tact, and with an intelligent regard for the marriage relationship, as with someone physically weaker. Since she is a woman, show her honor and respect as a fellow heir to the grace of life, so that your prayers will not be hindered or ineffective. Finally, all of you be like-minded, unity in spirit.
United.
No,
United.
unity in spirit, sympathetic, brotherly, kind-heartedly,
Depending on the word he's using.
cautious, and compassionate towards each other as members of one household, and humble in spirit,
He's not using amplifier.
and never return evil for evil or insult
Did
for
you hear
insult.
that part? Evil for evil.
Yes, I heard it.
Never return
I heard it. My
evil
wife. I
for
heard it.
evil.
I heard it loud and clear.
That's what
I heard it.
See people just carry us, they
I
settle
heard it.
their matter with this Bible. Continue.
I don't finish
Make
it.
una continue.
They are reading in code.
Let's go. I don't finish.
They are reading in code. Alright, babe, what do you think? What do you think about this topic?
And
Yeah.
make them the answer for us so that they do what they put
No.
this
No,
Bible.
now precious bring us comfort.
Yes, so I carry us going. How they carry and give me?
Oh, pray.
I've talked about what I wanted to talk about, but then
No, you only read the
But-
Bible.
but-
No, you only read the Bible and I've
Yes,
spoken
you
about
read the
it.
Bible.
You read the
I was the one that
the,
spoke
the,
about
the question
it.
now. The question is now.
I can help you, don't worry.
No,
sorry,
no,
wait,
help,
no,
no
wait.
help.
No, Kenny, wait. I think people are forgetting I talked about it. I mentioned
The role of the spirit.
You mentioned so that the
the
prayer will
spiritual
not be
role of
hindered.
the man now.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
this is clearly telling you the spiritual
Spiritual
role
role of
because
the
it
man,
said
yeah.
I was not telling you that when
She
the
did,
Bible
she did.
says a particular word, like it was saying his prayer not being hindered. That if
Okay.
there's something I've known about the Bible, I was talking about it that
Yeah,
time.
yes,
and
yes.
that's why I said that one does not speak about the spiritual role of the woman, because it's not
I
saying
did not say woman,
it's
I said man.
of the man.
Mm.
So what then is the role of the man? The role of the man is not to do bad thing to his wife. So his
No,
prayers will be
I was
answered.
just trying to say that this part where it says so that his prayers will not be hindered, it's trying to tell you that even as a man, it's not saying the woman should not pray, but it's trying to say that the man is also expected to lead his family in prayers. So in this situation, so his prayers for the family will not be hindered, or prayer for the woman or anything like his prayers. It did not say her prayers. But yes, she will still pray. But
because that
his
part of the
prayers.
Bible was speaking to the man, the same way the part of the Bible earlier was speaking to the
That's
woman.
what I'm trying
So
to say.
it's not gonna say.
But
so
when
that
it was
we
speaking
both-
about the
even,
woman,
even
when it
earlier
was, let me
too.
say something.
Yeah,
when it was
speaking
speaking about the
woman,
woman, why
it
didn't he
still
say
said-
if she doesn't do those things, her prayers will be hindered? Why didn't you mention that part?
Because if you go in context, that's why I say you have to go in context. Go to the verse before, and you understand why they started talking about this. If you read the Bible out of context,
No, you're not
you will
understanding
only
what I'm
pick one
saying.
thing,
No,
and
you're
that
not
will
understanding.
be
You
it.
put
But
let's
also
start from the
earlier
beginning
on,
of the-
even when we went back to read earlier,
Mhm.
right? Also, the role of the man is also stated there because it clearly says that the man is what's the word the Bible uses now? It's accountable to God.
Accountable to
Do you understand?
responsibility given unto him. by
Yeah,
God, and
yeah, because
accountability
yes,
back to God,
because yeah, it shows like the woman is probably like under him, right? He's supposed to be the one to lead the home and account to God.
And this is the reason why earlier when I was speaking about the role of the woman, I said I believe our role is to provide companionship, but to provide support to the man.
Exactly.
That's the role of the woman in the life or in the relationship, is to support the man on that particular mission that he has been given.
Mhm.
Right? So obviously spiritually also she is there to support him as well. Not just physically, she's also there to support him spiritually.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that part, but this one now is an instruction to the man on how he should care for the woman. It does not have to do with what his role is. So he's telling him this is how you should care for. So even if you are
It's
doing,
also part of a role, isn't it?
yeah, you're not getting the point
Kinda.
here. The point is this: that earlier part was speaking to the woman how she should also take her own, how she should
Mhm.
treat the man
Exactly.
in a relationship.
Yeah.
And this other part is saying how the man should also treat the woman in a relationship. Because obviously it's easy for there to be this kind of how do I put it?
I think you're not understanding what I was trying to say. I don't know if you guys can listen. Maybe if you could understand what I'm trying to say, maybe you can be able to, like, if Ken is not understanding me, maybe somebody can understand in a way to explain to me. What I was trying to say is that we started reading from the woman's part.
Yeah, click on it. Click on it. Just click on accept anything like that. Is there anything coming up?
Drag the pause or something like that.
Yeah, you need to drag the pause if not it will off.
You don't off.
It ended.
Why you no talk since now?
Well, you just said it now.
I just saw it now.
So why you got the tell and why you don't
We're
talk
still
sense?
we're still having
What I'm trying to say is that the beginning part started talking about.
We have 3 people watching us on YouTube. And we have 4 likes, like actively watching.
But can you actually?
So it started with the part where it was talking about the role of the woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was saying the woman has to love, the woman has to honor, the woman has to, like, all those things it was saying, and all of that. Now, at the end, it didn't say something like if the woman doesn't do all of these things, her prayers will be hindered. It was just trying to tell the woman, try to do all these things or make sure to do all these things and all of that. And then inside that role of the woman, it mentioned the man being accountable to God and his responsibilities. Now, when it now got to the man's own, the Bible now talked about if the man doesn't like, if the man should treat the woman in this way and that way, his prayers will not be hindered. So that means the prayer part is mostly the responsibility of the man. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not talking about leadership here. No, I'm talking about like the prayer part is mostly the responsibility of the man, because if the woman doesn't do her own part and all of those things, he didn't give her this as a punishment, or this is what she will face and all of that. But then when it came to the man's own, he now gave him this, that if you don't do this thing, this will be the repercussion. Your prayers will be hindered. So that means the man has that huge responsibility when it comes to prayers in the home. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not talking about the leadership and providing and all of that. No, I'm talking about the prayer aspect, that spiritual prayer aspect. That's the point I'm just trying to make.
Did you get it now?
I do.
Okay. So
Correct.
Do you understand?
it's good that we don't need to explain.
So
That's what I
also
was
to carry
trying to
our
say.
viewers along, all right, we are discussing the rules of spiritual and physical role of a man and a woman in relationship, all right. And what are we trying to achieve? What we're trying to achieve is to make sure that we send a good message out here to help people to understand, people that are battling to who is going to be a provider, who is going to be a leader, who's maybe you are supporting your husband, or you are supporting your wife, or maybe you are facing maybe some financial difficulty or difficult situations where maybe the woman is taking the role, or maybe being the provider and the man feeling less of himself, or the woman is praying more, the man is not praying more, and then it's a problem in the home. What can be the disadvantage? What can be the advantage?
On that part, I have something to say, because I wasn't here with you guys from the beginning, so I was just trying to observe from what everybody is saying. But now that you've explained like everything generally, now I think I have something to say.
All right.
So if a family has to be united,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
It's either you're for this power, or you're for this power, or you're for this power, this power. This person cannot be for this power, and this person is for this power. You're creating confusion in that home. So if you guys are saying that you want to serve God, it should be a united thing, because even the children that you're raising, they are watching you guys. So if, for example, let's say for example now, in the morning, the mom calls the children to come and pray, but then the dad, he's nonchalant about it. One day the children can be like, oh, but mommy, why you always saying let's pray? Daddy doesn't disturb us about it and all of that. Indirectly, they started seeing it like, oh, it's something that is not really important. And in the world we're living in this day, it's something that is actually very important. Like, you need to like make sure that your children are rooted, like the core foundation is there, like they need to understand.
Is that the physical role or the spiritual role you're speaking about?
No, I'm doing generally first. Hold on, I'm coming to somewhere. So they need to like be rooted, be deep, like be like really deep in it. Now, if as
No, continue.
now, if as a father
Mm,
you're not taking up that role,
mhm,
you're just leaving it to your wife,
mhm.
are you really being a leader in that home?
In that aspect.
In that aspect, yes, in that aspect. I mean, you might be leading your family by, oh, you're providing, you're doing, let's say you're providing for the home. Apart from providing for the home, what else are you doing if you're leaving every other thing for the wife to do as a leader
What
in
is
the
the
home?
other thing?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Is that the physical or the spiritual?
Like generally everything. What
No,
else
we need
apart
to
from
know. We need to,
providing?
you need to
Because it's
separate
as
it
if,
for me.
because it's as if providing.
Okay, so providing is
providing
physical,
and
right?
protecting
And
is
then
the
leading
physical.
the family in the aspect of praying is spiritual, isn't
Is
it?
that your? Is that your? Is that your?
That,
is
that's,
that your?
yeah,
is
that's
that
what I'm
your
trying to say.
reality?
Because when you're providing and protecting your family,
Mhm.
it's more like the physical aspect.
Okay.
The spiritual aspect, what are you doing for them? If it's your wife
Mhm.
that is doing everything, so how are you doing your leadership spiritually if it's your wife that is now doing
Ah, the
everything?
woman will suffer with that.
Could be the woman with the
No, we are making a scenario. So
Yes,
we are
man.
making on the scenario.
I just don't want to
No, he was looking at me when he said the woman goes.
Are you
So-
looking
Why
at
you
me?
didn't-
For you to really can even explain your
What did you
explanation, so
say?
I don't understand this.
See this woman.
This people are talking in code, like.
You guys are discussing the code. We are lost, okay? You guys should help us.
See me.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even with, because I remember I was here in the part where you guys were trying to like differentiate leadership and being a leader and being a provider, right? So now, being a provider, being a protector is like the physical aspect of the leadership. Now, the spiritual aspect of the leadership, if your wife is already doing the thing of praying for the family, doing the Bible thing, taking the children to church, teaching the children about God and all of that, then what is the man's role now as spiritually as leader in the home then? That's what I want to understand.
Alright, can I say something?
Yeah.
Because I'm almost moving to another topic. We have people watching us.
But this particular question I asked
gonna
now, does it
answer.
clarify everything?
Yeah,
like-
I'm going to answer that.
To an extent.
Yeah, so this is it. When we try going through Adam, going through Eve, going through Bible references to understand what a man should do or what a woman should do, most especially we're trying to find out the spiritual aspect. Who commands the morning to take its place in the home? Who commands the morning to take its place in the home?
Who commands the morning?
The morning to take its place.
Like
That's
in the
Job
morning,
chapter.
yeah.
Yeah, morning.
Tell us
What?
that. They ask that.
Who commands the morning to take its place in the home? Now, as a man, God gave you a family as a guardian of Eden. You have a family, that means you have interest to protect. You have everything to guide that family, to protect that family. What do you do to make sure that the heaven above you is open? Is to make sure you stand in the gap. So you hear from your God and you watch over your family. That's the leadership aspect of you. Physical provisions is connected to spiritual source. For you to be able to provide physically, spiritually, something is also happening. Alright? So you being a man in the role of spiritual aspect, man, take your place in the garden. Adam was the father of the garden. Man is the father of home, the leader of the home. Alright? You are the leader, you are to lead the home spiritually, physically, everything. If you don't lead the home from divine source, you will lead the home from physical source,
Can I ask?
which will run with Jay-Z. Go ahead, sir.
So what was the role that was given, or what was the purpose of man?
Purpose
Because
of man.
what was
To
the
represent
purpose?
God on earth. God is the creator
But
in heaven.
There was an instruction that was given to
Amen.
them.
What was the instruction?
Be fruitful and multiply.
And do what?
I can't remember.
Have dominion.
Over our
So
places.
you create and uncreate.
Yes, have dominion. Be fruitful and multiply. Have dominion. This was given to both of
Authority
them.
was
It
given
was
to both
it
of
was
them.
both of them. Be
Yes.
fruitful and multiply. Now, before Eve came, because if we are going to use Bible this thing to talk about the purpose, because we have been using Adam and Eve in trying to understand the purpose of man. Both of them were given this purpose.
Before Eve.
Before Eve came, what was Adam's job? Adam's job was just to tend by the
It
garden.
wasn't just a job, it was handed, the garden was handed over.
It was like giving everything, literally.
It was
Garden was his family, was his home.
No. One thing about the way the Bible was written was most things were not written exactly like as if this one happened immediately, this one happened, this one happened. That's why I say if you read the original Hebrew and when they translate it, they help you understand the fact that, for example, when they talk about the first day, God created this, second day, it wasn't in the terms of today, Monday, God did this, then on Tuesday, he did this. There was time.
Just 1 second to say.
So you have to
continue. Just 1 second. If you read Bible, you see day. You call it day in English, and you understand it with day in English. Bible is book of inspiration, inspired by God. So most of the words spoken in the Bible, most of the things done in the Bible that have to do with divinity itself, was coming from above. If 1 year 1 day or 1,000 years is like 1 day in the eyes of God. It means it's a riddle. So it means if God said have dominion, it's not just marry and give birth.
That was not my point. That wasn't my point.
Yeah,
My point was this: that instruction was given to both of them, right? So it wasn't like the instruction was given to man. Only man have dominion, be fruitful. It was after God created, He blessed both of them, and He said, "Be fruitful and multiply and have dominion." So it means both of them were given a purpose. Both of them were given something to do. So if we are looking at it the way you have been looking at it, it's like the man has a purpose, the woman's purpose is only to fulfill the man's purpose. But the way I see it, both of them were given instructions. The man on his own cannot fulfill the purpose. Same thing, the woman on her own cannot fulfill the purpose. Together they can fulfill the purpose. It doesn't matter how strong the man is.
Complicating it when you go into some Bible verse. That was why I had to ask that question, because that question is supposed to like, okay, if you want to like bring in Bible verses, maybe it should be like for that spiritual leadership, because I can understand why both of you are going this way.
One thing is this: I feel like this using Adam and Eve,
why both of you
using
are going
Adam
this way
and Eve in trying to understand
the
purpose
of spiritual,
the spiritual or physical purpose.
I
of
can
the
understand
man
the
or
physical
woman.
part of it.
It does
Without
not
That's why I
value.
asked that question. If the woman is already, because for example now, I remember initially they were trying to, when I came in halfway when my husband was talking, I think he said something about the woman praying to God. He has a way of this, that, getting to God, and touching God's button and all of those things. So now that's why I was like, if the woman, I remember hearing him say that. So that's why I was like, if the woman is doing all of this now,
look at this, right? So when we talk about purpose, like let's not forget the fact that we have Esther in the Bible, who was the person that interceded for the whole country of Israel, right? For the whole people. Same thing as, that's why I think we don't have many books that talk about women, but when you see women in the Bible, you can see their intercession, even for the man. Even when David was going to go and kill, can't remember that man. And
you're talking
there
about
was
women as
Abigail.
intercessors.
That means they also have the power to do certain things.
You're not understanding
right?
what I am saying.
Yeah.
I didn't say a
We're not
woman should
neglecting a
not
woman.
pray.
We're talking about who
You're not
should
understanding. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is,
No,
if the
that's
woman,
my own
that's
point
the
is
mistake
this.
then.
My
That's
own-
the mistake.
That's
Wait, I think you
where I'm
can-
coming to.
wait, let me explain what
I think
I
that's the
said.
mistake on the
I
topic.
did not say the woman should not pray. She should not intercede.
No.
She should not
Dave,
read the
no,
Bible.
that's not what we're
Wait, now
saying.
just wait.
That's not what we're saying.
Just wait.
I don't wait.
God bless you. So my question is, if the woman is doing it all, right, and the man is just there.
She said it earlier. Sally said it earlier before.
If the woman is doing it all and the man is just there,
Struggling.
like you said, intercessor and all. And remember also with the case of Esther, the uncle had to remind her that maybe it was for this case, this situation, that you were put there, right?
But that's not
Now,
marriage.
No. It's not marriage, but I'm just trying to get to something based on what Kenny said.
Since you say it's not marriage, is this about relationship? Is
It's-
it about family?
That's the problem.
Is
why
it
I
about
always get
family
it.
or is it about
See,
relationship?
I think
It's
earlier
about
before
family.
say-
Because if it's about relationship, then it means we are talking about the man and the woman. If it's about the family, we are talking about man, woman, the children.
No, we're
If
talking
it's about marriage,
man
it's
and the
still
woman.
about the man.
See the
and
problem.
the
See the
woman.
problem that's
So,
happening. Look at what's
so
happening here.
let's try to
See the problem. See what's been happening here.
because
so
now
far.
we are talking about
Henry.
for me that's the way I understand.
We're supposed to
it.
have in this conversation. We're supposed to have different points of view, and each point of view should be like everyone has a say in how they view or how they see this whole thing. It's not like we should be like, because of your Sally's view is this, your view is not the right view of what we're talking about. I don't know if you can, like Henry said something about physical role in a man and spiritual role. Now in the physical part, we've spoken about physical part. The women has also spoken about the physical. Now the spiritual part, the problem I'm having here is that we keep butting head on the part that it has to be the man that has to be the physical in terms of spiritual. It has to be the man that has to be. But the women also are agreeing on you that it has to be the man that will be the spiritual leader. That's the whole point.
No, you did not.
But then again,
That's the thing. I threw a question, but you guys did not understand my question, and then people entered something else because I think Henry wanted to conclude. I threw a question. I said, if the woman, like Kenny said now, intercessor, if the woman is being the intercessor, right, the woman is teaching the children Bible, the woman is taking the children to church, and the woman is doing like all of those things spiritually, the man is just there. So what is the role, like the man's leadership role spiritually there?
Okay,
If it's the woman
so
doing it,
let's
that's what I'm
track
trying
it
to
back.
understand.
Let's track it back, right? Now, does it mean that maybe before the woman got married to the man had a very, very high spiritual distance that he was always praying, and then after they got married, something happened. Now he's now low. Or that's the way he had always been. Because if that's the way he had always been, it is now difficult for a woman to expect the man to just
all of a sudden switch.
And now I will now start carrying that role. It's to me it is not so much expected because that's the person that the person had always been. So it means the woman has to carry that leadership role because that's who the person is at that particular moment. But if the man was already that way and then something happened, then we can say, oh, he's no longer carrying that leadership.
I think I understand what Ken is saying. Another thing again is that sometimes I've seen this so many places, right? Sometimes there are two people, two couples or two boyfriend and girlfriend doing their thing. You could tell one person is when we come to this, I'm a Christian. Not everyone is doing like is acting as a Christian. Let me put it that way, right? Now the way Henry you will pray, and the way Sally will pray cannot be the same. What do I mean? Let me explain to you. You might be scaboshing the way you like to scabosh, and the way Sally will scabosh. No, hear me. You might scabosh the way you scabosh, and the way Sally will scabosh is not going to be the same. The amount of prayer you pray now, the way you pray and ask God and pray and do it, I don't think it's the same way Sally will pray. But when you guys are together praying, it's different. Let me explain. I know why I'm saying this now. What am I saying is that you might meet a man, right? A guy who he has a certain way, the way he believes in God, and he also believes in God. Maybe he's not this type of person. Maybe you're this person, that kind of person that like you pray literally in a day. You can pray like 4 or 5 times. Let me give an example, right? And the woman you are. Let me say you're the woman, and the woman is someone who prays literally the whole day. She can pray non-stop. Now, the fact the woman prays literally almost every day, and the man is not literally in the same pace with the woman, does that make the man not spiritual in the home? Or does it mean that because the woman is praying 10 times every day, the woman needs to pray 10 times?
The point she's making is different from the point.
No, what I'm trying to say, she said something about as a woman, the woman is doing all the spiritual part of it when it comes to what is the man's role.
The point you're making is still different from the point.
So what's that? What's my
the point she was making is this: the woman is trying to instill this spirituality into the children
in the family.
Now,
yes,
she's the only one
doing
all
it.
of those things,
Yes,
and the man is not doing so much of
now
it.
what is no? She's not. It's not that the man is not. She said, "What's not this man's spiritual role in that family?" That's what. That's
yeah,
her question.
That was why the question went there. Then what is the man's spiritual role? If the woman is the one who is
doing all those
under the tutelage of the older women, that was what it was. That was what it came back to. Talked about the younger women should come under the tutelage of the older women because the older women are more wiser and so they can actually teach.
But is that what
But then again,
says?
huh?
And the older women
and that's the
really,
thing.
really
If
wise
we
at
are going to
this
look at it like that now, is the Bible saying a woman does not hold anything in the house of God? No, because we still understand there are parts of the Bible that lets us understand that a man and a woman are equal spiritually in the eyes of God. Physically, yes, they were made not as physically dominant as a man, and that's why it used that specifically used that weaker vessel.
So somebody said something.
On,
Let me read comment for you. You see, manners, strength, honor makes a man.
Are we back on? Oh, I see we're back on.
Sorry?
Comment, right?
Yes, you said
The role of a man, all right?
Read.
Yeah, we
So
can understand.
the person said,
Can you turn the camera? Is it possible?
you can read.
so he said, manners, strength, honor makes a man. The other one say, hi guys, having a nice day. Hi guys, you sleeping over? Hi guys, okay.
So manners, strength,
So,
honor.
Let's talk about we're talking about the role of a man and a woman, and somebody make this comment. What do you think about it? About what makes a man? That's what.
If you're talking
I think
about role,
that should
that's
be
what makes a
physical.
man. That's what makes a man.
That's what
But
makes a
not
man.
about. If you're talking about the role of the man,
In a home is
actually,
different.
actually, yes. In the relationship, is manner also
Strong,
like the Bible said, the way you should treat the woman in the relationship. So your manner towards the woman, and the way you honor that woman, the way you show your strength. Because
Cherish.
sometimes we think strength is just about physical, but it's not just the only thing that makes mentally. You have to be strong for the relationship. You have to be emotionally strong for the relationship. So I feel like the person actually
The
makes a
ability
point.
to agree when you do not agree.
So do you agree that
Yeah,
honor,
that's-
manner,
that's-
strength makes
no,
a man?
No, you don't have to agree, but the ability to understand the other. Because I believe there is no way. Even the Bible says it. How can two people work together?
Except they agree.
Except
That's
they
the thing. So there's agreement.
No, they have to agree to work together. They have to agree to work together. Now that's the agreement there. So there are some things that we both of you might not see head to head, but you have to agree on something.
That's what I just said.
That's what she just said.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
but
That's
no,
what you
no,
just. That's what I just said.
the
You
both of-
agree even when you feel like you don't want to agree,
Agree,
but you
just
just
have
say
to
to
agree.
agree just for the common.
For the common,
That's
yeah,
what I just
alright.
said.
Alright.
Yeah.
So
No,
upset,
I don't want to
upset.
say anything further. I don't want to say anything further.
Mr. Man,
I had the reason. I had what I was gonna say, but I don't want to say anything further.
Kenny, you
because-
know, you said something earlier. You said a man that he probably was not spiritually inclined, and then she needs to
Accept it.
that. And
no,
all
I
that.
don't think it. No,
No,
maybe.
you know-
I didn't say she has
No,
to accept it. I
it's
No,
said
she needs to step in and take the role because you don't expect him to just change and all of that. But then Kenny, don't forget you're talking about marriage. You're not saying relationship. Before one walks into marriage, you should know marriage
that
is
is
not
where I'm
relationship.
coming. That's where I'm coming from. That's
So
why I
even if
said.
it's something,
That's why I said before
Okay,
they
can't change.
before they got married, there has to be the woman should have seen it as well, knowing that this is where this person stands spiritually, and so she should be able to understand. So when they now get married and the man is still like that, it is now difficult for the expectation to come down because now we're married. This man will just all of a sudden now be raising these kids because he has the way he probably.
But I don't
has always
think
been
I still believe that it's still. I believe in a marriage or any home or even relationship. There's a way even a man, if you are even wise enough, you know that when you see someone, a woman doing, there's a way you see someone do something. Once someone is doing something bad, you'll be like, this is shit for me. But when someone is doing something, you can actually see there's good in what the woman is doing. You get my point? Like there. Say all of it in the time.
Go ahead. Sensible man.
I just put all up for that one.
Like we're trying to get away. We're trying to be as sensible as you are.
this is not what he's trying to say.
No, I feel like in the Christian point of view, right? The expectation is that you're supposed to marry someone that you are equally yoked, and equally yoked doesn't mean that he's Christian and Christian, so it means we match. It has to be the level of spirituality as well, and that's why I brought it back to that point that if they were on that same level and then something happened, the man dropped in the marriage, then we can start to talk about this guy, you're not holding up your role. But if the guy's spirituality or that is not his level, it's now difficult for you to enter inside and expect the guy to just step up. It will take a little bit of building on that particular character, and then eventually the guy could also, and that's where the intercession still comes in, and that's why I said the woman has to pick up that. And from that intercession, even in the Bible is there where they talk about if a woman, I think it was Paul who was writing, if a woman should marry to an unbeliever. It still talks about the fact that she could bring salvation to her husband who is an unbeliever. So it means that at that particular moment, the woman has to hold up that position. So it's why for me, when we look at a spiritual head or not, the Bible addresses when a woman is married to somebody who is not even a believer. And it talks about the fact that now she actually has to take that role spiritually, so she could bring salvation to the home. So it means in that particular instance,
It's talking about the
woman,
intercession.
it's like an intercession. But in that place of intercession, she takes that leadership role. A person cannot intercede who is
I
not.
feel like what Ken keeps saying is that it's not that
when it comes to the spiritual role in as a man, doesn't have to be necessarily a man.
No,
It could either be.
I
It
feel
could
like
either
the man is supposed to. Is supposed to.
I get it. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be fully like, okay, it's the man doing that.
It is.
No,
But
it
then
is.
again,
No,
I don't know, the man has to be.
no,
No,
you're
no,
getting it
Tony,
wrong.
no.
It
The
is,
man
but
is meant to.
where the man is falling short,
Is
the woman-
then-
the woman-
yeah, but it does not mean
Exactly.
that it is trying to say that it's not completely the man. It is completely the man, but
The man is
somehow
No,
supposed
the
to.
man
that's
is
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying
No,
this.
no,
No.
what you're explaining is
It's
wrong.
different.
What you're trying to say that what Ken is saying is that it's not must that it should be the man.
No,
That's what you were trying to say
no,
that Ken was
no,
saying. But what
no,
Ken
man
was
is
trying to
supposed to be
say
the leader.
is that it should be the man.
no,
but
no.
when the man is
We are
falling
talking about
short, the
the
woman should
the
step
conversation
in.
is about spiritual and physical, right?
Yeah.
Now Kenny is bringing the part that same physical, and that's where I feel like, from what I understand from what he has been saying, is the man still remains the head and he's in terms of physical provider and everything. The spiritual part doesn't necessarily be like the man has to.
No.
Is that
The spiritual part is
Okay.
also
It's-
necessary.
no,
it's
no,
That's
not
what
it's
I'm
the
saying.
way-
wait. Now my understanding from what he was
That's
saying.
what we're telling you.
No, you are
not-
telling me say the way I say with the fight, was it the fight?
No, your understanding is
She's
wrong.
trying to
So I'm
explain.
trying to
So
tell you
my
now that that's the
explanation is that
explanation you are giving.
The
is
man is
wrong.
still supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But in the place where
See
the
who's
man
talking to you
falls
now,
short-
so that you can be hearing
The
it
woman-
well.
Because I feel like even in the physical part of relationship,
Mhm.
there are places the man will still. There is no way a man is going to always, except that man is exceptional. Sometimes the man will fall
No,
short.
no matter
There are
how
things that
exceptional,
will
you
happen
still
where the
fall short
man
one way
will-
or the other.
The man can go through. his
If I don't
trials.
fall short,
So
anyone can
what
fall
is
short.
what is
At
the
the end of
job
the day.
of the helper? If the person that you are supposed to help is falling short and you cannot help,
You intercede.
and you are just there, say he's supposed to stand up by himself because
It's
he
not
fell
doing the
down.
job.
Then
It's the
you
role.
are not helping because the man fell down does not mean you now look at him and say, he's the leader.
Oh, you go get
He has to
tough.
get
Yeah.
No. You have to
Yeah,
listen.
you go
That's
get
the job
tough.
of the
Man,
helper.
no.
So the
Correct.
person that is helping, if you are injured, the helper is gonna help you get to an hospital. If something happens to the man,
Just have to
the
raise the
woman
man, yeah.
at that point where
Uplift
she is
and do all those
helping, she takes up that role as the leader. It doesn't mean that that's who she's meant to be, but because she's the helper, she's an intercessor also
Mhm.
for the man. So
But
if some places
Santoni,
that the
can you
man,
explain what you understood now?
No, I just said exactly what I understood, but he clarified again.
Okay,
what
now that he
meant.
has clarified this, can you like tell us what you
Why is
understood?
it? I'm not the one rounding up. Tell the man to round up.
Because
No,
I
let
really
him round
want
up.
to be sure that
Okay,
I really want to be sure that
in
you
my
get
own
it.
belief, I still believe a man shouldn't be physically or shouldn't be spiritually the head.
Okay.
That's my own belief.
So that's your
That
belief.
doesn't mean that.
Now you
if that
come.
doesn't mean that
Now
my
you
belief.
come. You are saying your belief. You're
No,
not
no,
saying
no. You don't
what
understand.
he said.
Earlier, when he was saying something, I heard him say he didn't even say something about spiritually the man has to be the head. Earlier, he keeps saying about about what we're arguing about earlier was the man. Earlier was saying the man is a spiritual leader. He has to be the head and everything. He was saying the man can't be spiritual head because if he was, we asked Henry a question. If he's a spiritual head, why come he listened to God and everything, and then again, if made him, he fall short, right? That was our first argument earlier
My-
before,
Yeah, and we
right?
clarified that.
And no, that was our argument earlier before, and we clarified that.
my argument with Henry was the fact that it was
He was
talking
using
about the fact that
Adam and Eve.
it was
Adam
using
and Eve, yeah.
And he was talking about the fact that if the way he put it was almost
Was
like
looking
If
at
was
it,
if was
it
what
was
was
very
that's
clear.
exactly that's what I was on.
and that's what
that,
I was, the way
I
I
was
was
lost.
putting was that even the what me I wanted to go in there
Yes.
was that even the man could have gotten tempted.
as
It
well.
only just happened that
If was they
was
used the
Eve
Bible made
that
as
was
if
used.
it gave
It
him
does
the
not mean
serpent and all
that
that.
Eve was a like
No, that was just the wrongest thing he used to
Right,
to
but
talk
what do you
about
understand?
spiritual
What do you-
past and
Okay, but I still want to get your opinion.
No, I just told you my opinion. My opinion still remains the same. A man doesn't have to be spiritually the leader.
But
I
is
just
that what
said
the
it.
Bible
But
says? Is
like
that, is that like
it's not about for me. It's not about what the Bible says.
It's
It's about
about it.
okay. I get see. Let me explain to you.
It's about it.
Let me explain to you.
The
As
Bible
someone,
says not about what
wait,
the
as
Bible
someone who
says.
comes from a Christian home, right? By
That's why
nature,
it
by
should be about
default,
what the
hear me
Bible
now.
says.
By nature, as a Christian, right?
Mhm.
You are meant to be a leader in the family. By nature, by default, you are supposed to be a leader. Spiritual or physical. No, be about me control. I just to tell you something. Say, my own
Okay.
part about the thing I say, the whole thing I get about is that being spiritual in a family as a head, I get it as a Christian. Coming from a Christian, I get it. The man has to be there. But for me, I don't believe if the man is not spiritual, it doesn't mean the woman can still do which what can still reflect that the woman can still be there to intercede and help the man.
That's what I just said. I don't know why you keep saying I'm not. I'm just saying
It's
exactly
because
what.
you keep saying that you don't believe the man has to be it. What we're telling you is that the man has to be it, but the man can fall short.
Yes.
That's
The
what
way-
we're
the way
saying.
you
Don't
said
make it
is
sound like
what you
you are
said
contradicting
contradicted
yourself.
what
That's why I
you
said I want to hear you
wait.
contradict yourself.
Let me explain to you
Mhm.
what you said. You said you don't believe that the man has to be the leader.
Mhm.
Number one.
Mhm.
Then you now put what Kenny said.
Mhm.
What Kenny said is that when the man is not being there,
Leader.
the
Yes.
woman steps in.
To intercede and
Now,
do other. Yes.
when Kenny
I don't
said
know
that
if we're not
he
recording
did,
this offline. I think some people this need to get to Facebook and Instagram. Can I have your phone?
when Kenny said that, he's not saying that like, oh, the man should not let her step in and all
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
The woman is just stepping into the role.
Mhm.
But
At
you,
the
your own
meantime, just
point
because you're
is
falling
that
short.
the man does not need to. If the woman is doing it, she can just do it.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
you're trying.
Okay,
That's
okay,
your
okay. I
point.
get what you guys are saying. See, I still remain in my thought again. The man is the head of the family. I get it.
Hallelujah.
The man is the head of the
Jesus,
family.
we
No,
got
no, no.
there.
I'm not disputing
Okay.
that. Thank you, hallelujah. I didn't dispute the part saying the man not be the head of the family. Don't get me wrong. I've never said the man is not the head. I just say when it comes to the spiritual part of it, which you get, which you
It's the spiritual we're talking
No,
about, so
no,
it's the
we
spiritual
spoke
now. So
about
the
it.
man
You want me
is
to
still
explain
the
it?
edge
No,
in
no,
the
no,
You want me to
spiritual.
explain this more?
No.
If you want to explain
In
this
the
more, when it has
spiritual,
to do with
the
physical.
man is still the
Get me,
head.
get me. Being physically head
Okay,
as a
let's
man
forget
doesn't.
that.
He's still spiritually. You're still the man. You're still the head of the family. But what I'm trying to say is that when I look at spiritual, when we talk about spiritual, talking about like the Bible part of it, using Bible and all the rest of the man has to be the one praying, leading the family, spiritual. When we talk about spiritual, it's you being prayerful, right? being the one who take the
It's you
family,
leading
sit
the
down,
family
leading. That's
spiritually.
exactly
Bible,
in spiritual.
prayer.
Prayer. That's what I'm saying. I get all that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if the man doesn't do it, right? To get my point again, if the man doesn't do it, that doesn't mean the man is not still the head of the family. Do you get my point? It doesn't mean the man is still not the head of the family.
It can be the head.
He's still the head of the family. The fact he's not doing the
Financially.
spiritual part of it doesn't mean he's still not the
He
head of
has
the family.
dropped in that spiritual
That's
part.
what I'm
That's
saying.
what we're telling you.
But that's what you make it like say if the man is not spiritual head of the family means he not be the head of the family.
No, that's not what we're saying.
that's not that's
you
no.
are just not getting it. You are
No.
just, can you just
I said
can
if
I,
the
can I
man.
just say what
Yeah,
I was
go ahead,
saying?
go ahead.
I really want to say it so
Mhm.
that you listen
Yeah,
and
go
you
ahead.
really please listen with an open
You know,
heart.
I say with open heart. How do you say with open heart? We didn't talk about open
Don't
heart.
listen because you want to respond to me.
No.
Honestly,
No.
because you are
So
actually
wait till you feel now. Wait till you feel
because
now.
you want to
Okay, you
respond
think
to me. That's
you
what I'm
think
doing.
wait you think as I talk. Wait, I have a question. You think as I talk like the response to this?
You are responding to me. See, that's the
Wait.
thing. You are listening just to respond.
Okay,
but
go
I
ahead.
want you to listen and
Go
take
ahead.
it in
Go
before
ahead.
you
But
actually
you listen to my
respond.
own, abi?
I listen to what you
Okay.
said, word for word.
Yeah.
And what you are saying, you are contradicting yourself left,
How?
right, and center. But let me tell you what I was saying.
Yeah.
The man is the head, both spiritually and physically.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. The same
That's
thing we are
what
saying.
it's ought to be.
No, I
But if the
understand.
man, what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying is, if the man
Uh-huh.
actually is not meeting up spiritually,
Uh-huh.
I didn't say it has dropped him from being the
But
leader
that's
of the
exactly
family.
what I'm been saying.
Spiritually, he has dropped. He
That's
has done
exactly
the
my
wife,
point.
The wife, can I finish?
Yes.
Stop.
Well, that's my point
That's
now.
what I'm saying. You are just
Bless her with
talking
her
because you just want to be.
No.
You just want to be
No.
responding.
It's not the part. It's not because I just want to respond.
So now,
It's not because I want to
because
respond.
you are getting me wrong.
I feel like
by
you are the one
thinking-
getting me wrong.
You were getting. Let me tell you why I said you were getting me wrong.
Yeah.
Because you kept saying, you kept saying that I have said. You kept saying that as I have said, the man is not taking up the spiritual aspect. It has dropped him totally from being
That
the
is
head.
what I
That's
understood
not what
from you. That's exactly.
No, that's not what I'm
That's why
saying.
you said I'm contradicting. I didn't contradict myself. You're the one who thought I contradicted. I never contradict myself. I just said
So
exactly what I
apparently you
said.
just did not get what I said.
Exactly, but you said I'm contradicting
And
myself.
that's what I was
How?
saying. I keep saying that you were not
You
getting
people
what
are
I'm saying, but
confusing
you
my
were saying that you were
microphone.
getting what
No.
I'm saying.
Now you won't even understand me, honestly. Because from what you said now, from what you just from what you just said now, you're making it feel as if I said if the man is spiritually not sound, he's not the head of the family. That's what
No.
I understand from what you just said. But from what I said earlier before, I said if the man is not spiritually sound, that doesn't make him not still the head of the family.
Let me tell you where this whole conversation started from.
Mm-hmm.
It started from you saying that you did not believe that the man must be the spiritual head.
I said if the man is not spiritual head, that doesn't mean he's not in the head of the family. Because from what I have, this conversation has been.
No,
baby.
you said you do not believe that the man must
has to
be the spiritual head. That's what I'm telling you.
that was
That
what
I
you said.
kept telling you that
That
the
can
man
be
must.
times.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, that's okay.
You
If
see?
the man is not the spiritual head, right? What you guys are saying is that I said if the man is not if the man must not have doesn't have to be the spiritual head, right? That's what you guys said. I said, right?
That was what
That's
you
what,
said.
and I still
let's
remain
ask
on,
the church.
and I still remain in my thought. As I
Opinion
said,
that
if
was
the
there.
man is not spiritual, doesn't mean he's still not the head of the family. He's still the head of the
Are you
family.
connected to YouTube?
That's still the same
Yeah.
point.
Those are two
Then
different
you just
points.
go
How?
Not yet.
Those are two different points.
How?
How?
Yeah.
You said the man must not be the head, spiritual head. It's a different situation from you saying that if the man is, you just said the man must not be the spiritual head. Then you now eventually say does not mean that.
But I still remain on that as well. It's still the
That
same.
the man must.
And that was what I'm telling you, that the Bible says the man is the head spiritually.
Mhm.
So that's what it
if-
should be.
If I want
But
to speak,
Okay,
about
that, okay. I think I'm the one misquoting. Sorry,
Thank you.
I understand. I'm the one misquoting.
so that's what it should
I
be.
misquote. I
But
misquote.
sometimes
misquote. I
it
might-
doesn't always be like
I
that
now
because
understand what- I now
men
understand
tend
what
to
you're saying.
fall short in that aspect, and that's where the role of the woman comes to intercede and play the role
Mhm.
and help out. That's what we have been saying
But
since.
when the woman is helping out,
When the
does
woman
not
is
mean the
helping,
man
that does
should
not mean that
relax.
that is now her role. It
Doesn't
does not mean
mean
that that
the man
she's
should
the
relax.
head.
No,
Exactly.
no.
It's just
What I'm saying,
helping
I
for the
still
man
say,
to come
it's
up
just me
so that
misquoting. What I meant to say
You
was,
just said
the
one
man
word,
not mean.
one word that made everything.
No, what I mean, if the man is not the fact the man is not the spiritual, it doesn't mean he still can be the head of the family. He can still be.
so
the head
that's
of the
what you have been meaning all this while.
That's what I. That's
Okay, but that's not what you've
why I
been
said.
saying all this
Okay, the
while.
way I said it is just the wrong way.
Okay,
I said
I'm
it the
glad
wrong
we
way.
have come to a conclusion.
No,
now.
I'm glad.
Right.
That
I
you have
understand.
finally understood.
No,
now
no, no,
that
I
you
understand
have
what I
been
said.
misunderstood.
Maybe
misunderstanding all
maybe
of
it's
us.
the word the choice of what I used
All right.
made us.
All right.
And
So,
drunk.
thank you
Hallelujah.
guys so much for all your contribution when it have to do with the role of a man and a woman in the family, spiritually.
Do the talk
My
like
prayers.
Which one? It's been played.
Come on, they don't throw the guy off.
He didn't break. Don't time for it. Now if you host, don't time
The
already.
guy just quiet.
I'm not tired. I'm trying to introduce another thing. So,
Concluding this.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
conclude.
still
You want to
okay,
say something?
No, me. You can just know.
No, he
No,
said
I
what
beg
you
nobody
do,
should
you
say
don't
anything
conclude.
again. I beg. Let's all-
So in conclusion, in what we've discussed so far, we all agree that who should lead spiritually and physically is the man. Lead physically, spiritually is the man. The woman is there to support. If the man falls short, the woman supports. If the woman is the one in high mountain and the man is lower mountain, when you have to do with spiritual aspects.
Finish now.
1 second.
He's working with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is telling him things.
So when you have to do with, a man being in a lower version of his life due to one situation or the other, and the woman being in a higher mountain due to the woman is more spiritual sound, does not mean the man should leave the place of spirituality to the woman, but it means that the man should pick up from wherever he stopped by the support of the wife. When you have to do with providing, anybody can provide. The woman can provide, a man can provide. If you look at today's world, women get into more work, women get into more profession, into more,
This is our Gen Z generation. Yes.
they get more money than men. And that does not mean,
Ha! Where are we getting more money than
when you
men?
have to do with profession,
You just say when it has to do with person will be engineer, person will be doctor, that's the same money they get.
Now the same oh.
No,
In fact,
be
you
the
share
same.
the end pass.
It's not the same.
We are concluding. No, we
We
don't.
just the money.
Alright.
I swear, let us conclude.
Because
I swear,
if
let us
I enter now,
conclude. Please.
I
I beg, rephrase your statement.
man, refresher,
Rephrase.
You
rephrase.
know they collect pass.
So in this case, anybody can provide.
Mhm.
Though
Both
it's
parties
not,
should provide.
it's
not
not.
anybody can provide. Both parties should provide.
Both parties should provide. It's not channeled by only women. Sometimes women get more salary. Sometimes men.
I
Get
think
more
I think you are still putting this.
Back
Don't
then,
put
yeah.
anything.
Just come
See,
move to the next
good
part.
thing
bro.
is this:
Alright.
both men and women make money. In the world that we live in right now, it is difficult for only one man to most
Yeah.
times to
Just
take
To
up
to
the
take
role.
up the role
So
of the
being the helper,
responsibility
a
of the
woman
man.
also is there
both
to
parties
help
step in.
in helping in making sure that the
Making
man
sure the
can
home is
sustain
running
that.
well.
So that the easy way
Thank
to
you,
put am.
sir.
All right, and
And
So
in that
that-
note, yes.
in that note, so that's
You
what
want
we
to speak in
conclude
English, so we
in your own family. All right, if things are spiritually not working well, intercede on behalf of your husband, and husband, please pick up your role and make sure your family is getting the spiritual, strength they need, and also in place of provision, whatever you can do to help your home. Once you have that capacity and the power, do it. It's not responsibility of one person,
to help me.
right? God bless you guys. The next topic we're going to be talking about is
Let's all wake up.
intimacy.
Kokriko.
Intimacy
in the relationship.
Intimacy in relationship, and we're going to be talking about this tomorrow by 9 p.m. But we're going to give you intro now.
I like as you catch them off guard. I like how. I like how.
So that's it. It's going to be a hot topic. It's going to be, what
Tomorrow is
husband,
not guaranteed to anybody.
right? You know what husband and wife.
You want to talk about it today?
All right. We are to conclude by 12 p.m. By 12 a.m. It's almost 12 a.m. and everybody have activities tomorrow. That's why I'm trying to postpone it tomorrow.
I can understand you.
But if you guys want to go with intro,
Alright, good night.
we can go with intro. If not,
They
No,
say
no,
intro,
tomorrow,
you're saying
tomorrow.
good night. You
We
don't
talk about it
intimacy,
tomorrow
you don't
9
like
p.m.
talking about intro.
I'm a Jesus girl.
all right. You guys take care and
You tell me
wait
you
for
don't
us.
understand them.
YouTube, and we're gonna be coming to Instagram also tomorrow. We're gonna be joining to
You just look at say nah. What's with that?
TikTok. So we wait tomorrow and we discuss about this. In tomorrow, we want to also discuss with you. So what happens is you tell us what you think when we're discussing, and we can discuss about your questions and your answers and your suggestions. We can read it out and everybody. Thank you and God bless you. And we see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye.
Anything
Bye,
like energy,
guys.
pastor.
Thank you
Join us
for
on
sticking
TikTok,
with
join
us.
us on this.
Say bye bye.
Hey, they do that thing. You say NSP pastor. Go say join us on Instagram. Join us on this. Join us on.
Like, share, comment,
Comment.
subscribe.
Oh my
You're
god.
like, fear don't catch you.
I won't go sleep, man. I don't get headaches. So Jesus Christ.